Last time we talked, I remember that the t-test is only one way of testing difference between groups. There are other inferential statistics.
Right. The ANOVA is another one. Isn't it strange that all the letters of ANOVA are capitalized?
Yes, that is because the letters stand for analysis of variance.
How is this different from a t-test?
With a t-test, you are only able to compare two groups to each other, and ANOVA can compare multiple groups.
This reminds me of the omnibus null hypothesis that the professor mentioned in class, because the omnibus has to do with multiple groups.
Omnibus?
Yeah, an omnibus null hypothesis says that all the groups are equal to each other. A regular null hypothesis just says that one group doesn't differ from the one other group.
So if we reject the omnibus null hypothesis, that just means that one or more of the groups is different from the others, but you don't know which ones?
Yes. So then you would have to do a t-test to find the specific differences between two of the groups.
So an ANOVA is just like a t-test for more groups. But I'm confused because I thought t-tests were comparing means. But the ANOVA sounds like it is an analyzing variance.
That was confusing to me too. I remember the prof mentioning variance ratio, which sounds like you're comparing variance, which means how the groups vary from each other.
Where do you get the numbers for the variance ratio?
You take the difference between the groups and then divide by the differences that exist within the groups.
Okay, let me think about what that means. So if you wanted to reject the null hypothesis, you want the differences between the groups to be big and the differences within the groups to be small.
You can get a big between groups differences by having a really good intervention, like a really great drug for ADD compared to a really bad drug for ADD compared to a no drug group. How do you get a small within groups variance?
You need a really similar sample of people who all have the same severity of ADD.
I see. So if your drug is really good, you will find out that it is good if you have a very different group you are comparing your group to. But within your group, people are very similar.
Speaking of similarity within the group, the most similar group would be the same people measured twice, like a within groups t-test. Can you do that with an ANOVA?
Yes, you can use different scores just like you did for the within groups t-test. The only difference is that you can compare more than two groups.
I'm really glad I took this class.
Me too. I'm already seeing ways I can use this in the future.